It is Friday, July 29th of 2022, and I have done so few guys daily drives. English is hard this month for really good reasons, and there's been another little break, and I've got reasons for that too. And I'll probably talk about it, but I may get distracted. Big surprise. Today on Guys Daily Drive. Bam. And good morning. Welcome to Guys Daily Drive. I have had all kinds of adventures since the last time we spoke, which was before going to Macstock, and I will talk about some of those adventures depending on how much time we have today before I get to work. Getting to the airport was non-adventurous. Tracy took me and it was fine, not a big problem. I had prepaid for my bag and prepaid for my exit row seat on the plane, so that all went well. No problems with my right leg, as referenced by previous Guys Daily Drives when I was in the hospital for cellulitis. But that was all fine. None of that was really an issue. It still doesn't look great because it's, basically because it's swelled, as it's contracted back, the outer layer of skin is peeling off. So that's really attractive to have, like, bits and pieces of you slough off as you're walking. And just to make it even better, I wore shorts so everyone could see it, and that's fine. People just got to deal. So I got to Chicago. The flight was uneventful, other than they changed the gate, and there wasn't really an announcement that I could think of. They just kind of, there was nobody at our gate, and somebody actually was like, "Well, are we supposed to leave from this gate?" And when we looked into it, it's like, no, not only were we at a different gate, we were at a different terminal. So we had to boogie on over to Terminal D from Terminal C at Reagan, which fortunately isn't that far. Got on the plane, and then just before we pulled away from the gate, we were already almost an hour late leaving. And just as we were getting close to where the runway is, everything stopped. And apparently some moron was flying a drone near the airport. So they shut the entire airport down. No takeoffs, no landings for like a half hour. So by the time that was finally done, we were like number 6 or 7 in the rotation to finally take off. And it's like, I really hope they caught that guy, and I really, really hope that they do terrible things to him, because that is such a stupid thing to do. Even assuming that you don't have bad intentions, that you're just an idiot flying a drone and you want to get shots of planes with your drone. Even assuming that was like your only purpose, it's still a really dumb thing to do. And I hope he got caught. At the very least, I hope that the drone got taken away or destroyed. But we will, what's this bus going to do? We'll see what's going on with that. But I hope, that's what I hope happened. Just people doing dumb things should face the consequences of those dumb actions. But I get into Chicago, and last year I had quite the adventure with Thrifty Rental Car, and it was not a good take. And when I was setting up the trip this year, I took Thrifty again just because they were the cheapest, and I kind of regret it because apparently everybody else took Thrifty because they were the cheapest. And so there was a really, really long line. All right, the bus isn't going anywhere. And when I saw how long the line was, it was like, oh God, never again. And this part of it is true. I am not going with thrifty car rental again. Especially to Chicago. There's, and they had a lot of people. Well, they had the number of people that they could possibly have based on the number of terminals they had. But it's Chicago. We should have more people on based on the number of people that have already rented cars, so that you can move them in and out as quickly as possible. And they just don't seem to care. They just keep stacking people like boards in a home improvement shop, whatever that means. But however, the line went quickly, or at least it seemed like it did, not because of anything Thrifty did, but because I backed into this short, older African American woman by accident. And when I turned around and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, she was like, no, you did it on purpose. But she was just kidding. And we spent like the next 45 minutes or so while we were waiting in line just chatting. She'd lived in Florida for a while, so that always sets me off. And we just chatted about all kinds of stuff. And she was really, really nice. And I hope she got together with her family and had a wonderful time while she was there in Chicago. Such a nice lady. Other than that, the car I had was fine. It was a Ford Escape, which I hadn't driven before, and the seats, Ford, you should really work on making your seats more comfortable. They were hard as a rock, and as it turned out, there is an adjustment for arch support, which is where it was really bad, and whoever had the car before me had just had it cranked all the way up against your back, and it was hard as a rock, and it just was not a pleasant driving experience. And once I found the control for it, which of course was part of the seat controls, I was able to make it a little better, but the seat was still almost no padding at all, and it just didn't feel really good. But the car was fine. At least they got me the car, or a car, that I'd actually asked for, and didn't try to upsell me into something else. So that part of it was okay. And I made it to, or actually no, I'm losing my place here. I met up with Dave Ginsburg from In Touch with iOS, and we met at Lou's for a deep dish pizza, which I just love deep dish pizza, and I wish it agreed with me, but I had like really horrible heartburn that night. But again, what are you gonna do? You eat spicy foods, especially at my age, and you end up having heartburn. So the next day I got there a day early, so there wasn't a whole lot going on. Mike Potter didn't really need my help with anything, even though I offered. But I did go over to his wife's anime store and bought a book, and she gave me a bag of Japanese dark chocolate Kit Kats along with the book, of course. And they had a little new agey store where they sold, significant rocks and tarot cards and all kinds of stuff. I bought Tracy a t-shirt while I was there. And that was pretty much all I did on Friday. Saturday, I met up with Mike and his family early and helped him set everything up as far as the video goes, because that was the job that I was going to do while I was at Macstock. I was in control of the video, and I was doing some switches between the cameras based on who was speech, and that was pretty much what I was supposed to do. Now I'm on this new blood pressure medicine. So late in the day, I literally, shades of office, I literally fell asleep sitting there and missed like 10-15 minutes of someone's talk. But on the plus side, this was like the first time in a long time going to Macstock where I actually went and saw the talks, because typically I bring all this gear and I have it set up in the lunchroom and I'm tweaking it and all the rest of it, and I'm talking to some people, and I hardly ever get to see any of the presentations. Well, I saw them all. I saw them all this year. And it was a relatively small crowd based on some of the safety protocols that Mike had set up. Everybody had to be masked and everybody had to practice social distancing. And there were some people who didn't show up because they don't agree with those things, which that's their right, but it's also Mike Potter's right to set the standards for which people attend. And he was erring on the side of caution, on the side of health and safety, and I don't blame him one bit. So, hopefully next year things will be better as far as COVID goes, and we can do away with some of these protocols, but that area is still kind of a hot spot, so I don't blame Mike. He's doing what he can to protect the people that were attending the conference. And that's the responsible thing to do. So I'm almost to work, so I'm going to have to continue this story. So we end it on Saturday at the end of the conference. There was the get together that night at the Opera House Cafe, or the restaurant at the bottom of the Opera House, and that was fun. The food there is always good, and everybody got a little bit of everything, and it was quite tasty. I love going there. And we'll talk about Sunday and the trip home next time. But if you want to get a hold of me, my email address is guy@mymac.com. My Twitter handles are MacParrot and VertShark. You can call our Skype number, 703-436-9501. You can find me on the My Mac podcast, which I hopefully will be recording tomorrow with Gaz. Also on, of course, Guy's Daily Drive, which is the main audio feed for my own stuff. You can check all that out. Go on over to YouTube. Look for the VertShark channel, and then like, share, subscribe. Did you see it? Like, share, subscribe. It's so easy. It's like a no-brainer. Then smash that like button, hit that notification bell, yeah, all those things. Also, if you would like to contribute, you can go to my Patreon page, patreon.com/MacParrot. You can buy me a coffee at ko-fi.com/MacParrot, or you can pay a pal at paypal.me/MacParrot. All of those things. And that is going to do it for today. Thank you all so very, very much for joining me on Guy's Daily Drive, and I will see all of you next time right here on Guy's Daily Drive. Bye-bye.